Hello, it's E equals MC Hammer, team 15858, and I'm gonna tell you how we designed and the process of how we designed our shooter and our magazine. So this is our current magazine, and it's all 3D printed. So first, we needed to think of how we were going to set up our shooter. We either could do a series shooter where the motors and the wheels to launch it were right behind each other, or if they were next to each other. And we decided to go with next to each other because this motor would help launch it better, because there isn't a wall here to help guide it and causing more friction. So what we did is we first mounted it on a piece of Tetrix C-channel with the motor mounts, and then we used SolidWorks and designed the shooter to go around that C-channel, because if we can't, it wouldn't be a good idea to 3D print the support that holds the shooter in place, because that'd be too much weight and it'd probably break over time. So we used the piece of aluminum C-channel, and our 3D print consists of, our second model consists of 4 different pieces. We've got the right side of the shooter, the left side, and the top and the bottom middle pieces. And the reason why it's in 4 different pieces because the 3D printer wasn't quite big enough to print the whole thing at once. And we couldn't do split it in half because it wouldn't be structurally stable as we did in our very first model, which didn't work quite so good because, it didn't print good in the first place, and we made edits to it. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the magazine, which stores the rings. So this is our very first model, and what the premise here is it's a top loading shooter in which the magazine's gravity fed, and they just sit in there into a stack. And then we have a slot in the back here in which a servo is mounted on the side, and a little piece of aluminum will just simply slide it out of this front hole in the front, and then it'll touch these wheels on the shooter and it'll just fly out. Now we just made this prototype, our first iteration, out of sheet steel, and then once we were done with that, we then moved to a 3D printed model, which is this bottom half, and it was essentially the same as this, except more refined this was, and we added a few extra features, like we added these little side gates on the side so that you could actually see how many rings were in the magazine. And then we also made a proper mount for the servo, and we made it more precise. All right, so now we have a close-up of the shooter working. So the first step is to get the motors going. So you press one of the triggers, and then you would simply press X and it would shoot it, I don't know if you saw it, but there is the servo arm that flings the rings into the actual shooter, and then from there you can just keep shooting them. The mounting points for the magazine are these little L-shaped brackets right here that are included in the magazine. They just simply bolt into the back of the shooter just for simplicity of use. So this whole magazine is connected to the shooter, and the shooter's connected to the C-channel, which is connected to these pillars over here. But that's pretty much it for the shooter and magazine. I guess that's it.
Okay, you've got 20 seconds. You got 20 seconds.
Where do I go? Right here? Something like that.
Oh, nice.
Alright, let's go now to shoot.
Oh, okay.